Welcome in to the Flea Flicker Fancast, the Overt Sports NFL show. Carson with David here. And David, this is one of the greatest Sundays of the year, is it not?
Yes, it
Championship
is. Yes, it is.
Sunday.
You mean
Yeah.
Pro Bowl Sunday? It's not. It's not the Pro Bowl.
Oh, no, that's
Oh,
right.
oh, okay. Not the flag football game.
Yeah. I saw the setup for that. I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I will not be watching this." But I probably still will. Um so it's Championship Sunday coming up and we're excited for that. And David, I think maybe one of the biggest things I'm excited to see is the quarterback matchups.
Yes.
As always, because I love offense. I'm a big offensive guy, and I obviously the AFC matchup is very compelling for the quarterbacks, but I really like this NFC matchup as well. Obviously, you got Jalen Hurts, and he's been a heck of a story this year, but also another heck of a story in Brock Purdy and what he's
Right.
done with the San Francisco 49ers. So, looking forward to both of these matchups. Let's start with that NFC matchup first, David. 49ers and Eagles. Eagles are favored by 2.5, getting the home advantage there in Philadelphia. What do you think about this game? This is, I think both of these games have the potential to be really close.
Me too. I think it's an evenly matched game right here. I think you got two dynamic offenses, two defenses that really play good under pressure. So I think it's going to come down just like to the Dallas game of whichever team makes the mistakes loses the game. That's how I think it's going to come down to.
Yep. Yep. No, I think I'm a little concerned that we might start to see, and I've been saying this for the last few weeks. I thought it against the Cowboys for Brock Purdy. I thought maybe, okay, this is going to be the game with Micah Parsons, that pass rush coming at him. I thought maybe this would be the game where we start to see some of the rookie quarterback creep in a little bit for San Francisco. But no, I mean, they didn't score a ton, but they scored enough, and he didn't make the crucial mistake, unlike the
Right.
other quarterback.
Not like that did.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep thinking the same thing too. Like one of these games is the rookie quarterback is going to show he's going to get Flesson in the pocket. He's going to throw 50-50 balls, and it just hasn't happened yet.
No.
So let's
Is
see
it
what
this
happens.
week finally? Is it
Yeah.
this week? Or
I
is
don't
it the Super Bowl? Or is it never? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think the way he's coached up and the way that team plays around him, it's kind of similar to what Philly did in 2017 when Nick Foles, was playing quarterback. Like the team just did everything they needed to do to win those games to make it easier for the quarterback. And that's just what they're doing. And it's not even like he's a pedestrian quarterback. He's hitting guys on a rope and he's making big plays. So it's like
Right.
this may be their quarterback of the future.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Well, and I'm interested to see too, this Philadelphia offense. Defense. What is an offense? Defense without the E, I guess. This Philadelphia offense go against this San Francisco defense. I think Jalen Hurts, watching him go against this defense is going to be very fun,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to be interesting to see if the 49ers can stop Jalen Hurts. I don't know if they've quite faced a quarterback like Jalen Hurts this season. The ability
No.
not only to throw the ball well, but also be able to run, scramble outside the pocket.
Right.
So I think that could provide a whole nother challenge for the San Francisco defense and just the numerous weapons that this Philadelphia offense has with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. You got Dallas Goddard, you got Miles Sanders, you
Miles
got
Sanders.
Kenneth
Yeah.
Gainwell, you got all these running backs, you got all these weapons on offense. Then that's not even to mention Quez Watkins, a speedy guy that can run down the field as well. So I think it's going to be very interesting. The part of the defense for San Francisco that does concern me the most is their secondary, and I am worried that secondary might have a tough day on Sunday.
Yeah, they might. They might. but it all going to come down to who was going to make the mistakes on defense or on offense. And just like
Right.
you said, with you talked about the Philadelphia offense, that defense too. And you know, in the last video, you talked about it. 1 through 3 cornerbacks are just studs.
Yeah.
You know, and they can get to the quarterback when they want to. So
Right.
maybe they can consistently rattle Purdy to lead him to start making some kind of mistakes.
Yeah.
But then you go look at the 49er defense. That defense is stout. They can get after you. Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
great pass rush over there with Bosa, and they can get after you consistently. So this might be the game to watch.
Yeah. And you know, we talk about weapons, and the other side is no shortage of weapons either. I
Yeah.
mean, you got George Kittle, who for my money is the best tight end of the league. I know Travis Kelsey would have some words, but I think he's definitely the best overall tight end in the league, with run
Yes.
blocking
With the
included in
run
that.
blocking ability, yes.
Yep. But then you also have one of the great weapons in the league in Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. That trade, what a trade that was! I think
Yeah.
between that trade and the Vikings trade for T.J. Hawkinson, probably two of the best deadline trades. And then you got Brandon Ayuk, who kind of goes under the radar. Like, man, that guy's good. Like, he's really
Right.
good, and nobody talks about him because they have all these other guys to worry about. So then you also factor in the guy who kind of put the game away last week for San Francisco, Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell.
And you
Yeah.
know, it's just like you keep it's like a magician. He keeps pulling a rabbit out of his hat or something else out of his hat. Like, what is he going to pull out next?
Trent Williams.
Yeah, Trent Williams. Exactly right. My third string quarterback who's as good or better than the other two.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a fun matchup. I'm hopeful that the Vikings, I know this is not a Vikings show, but I'm hopeful the Vikings can build something similar to really either one of these teams where they can plug and play multiple guys if needed to be successful, like especially with what we've seen with Brock Purdy.
Right. It's remarkable. It really is.
Well, David, let's give our picks here. I'm torn. I'm really torn on this. I think I'm gonna go Philly.
I'm going Philly too.
I think Jalen Hurts is gonna make a few more plays than Brock Purdy in this game, and I think the pass rush is gonna get home a little bit more for Philly, and that home field advantage. Oh, I hate Philly fans. I hate that stadium, but it's a tough place to play. And as a rookie quarterback, I'm not so convinced that Brock Purdy's going to not fall under the pressure a little bit. Like, he might still play pretty well, but I'm a little concerned there. So I'm taking the points and, or I'm taking the Eagles, and I'm basically saying they're going to win by at least 3 points in this game. And you're in the same boat there?
Yeah, I'm thinking 31-27 Eagles. I think, just like you said, Jalen Hurts makes enough plays for them to win. I'm not saying Brock Purdy goes in there and he plays horrible, but it's going to be a shootout, and I think that is the matchup quarterback, who has the best quarterback, may be the reason why the Eagles go to the Super Bowl. Because everything else is evenly matched. Both offenses are good. You know, the weapons are good. Both O-lines are good. Both defenses are good. So this might be the factor at quarterback that gets the Eagles into the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I'll say 27-24 Philadelphia. Okay. Yeah. I think 31 might be a little bit too much, but you never know if Philadelphia gets on a roll like we've seen this year. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So, well, that should be a good game. Speaking of good games, that's what you expect this time of year. And we got another good one in the AFC with, for my money, I'd say the top two quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yes.
Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. I'd say I'd give the edge to Mahomes yet, but Burrow's right on his coattails, if you will. And I think it's going to be a fun matchup. I think Joe Burrow, just his ability to play the way he did with 3 of his offensive linemen out last week. And we talked about it on the review show. Just his ability to throw these quick, short passes, extend plays as well. Very impressive against a Buffalo team who a lot of people thought were going to be not only in this game but in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So I think it's going to be hard to count out the Bengals in this game, especially. But if they get to the Super Bowl, hard to count them out in that game as well, because not only do you have Joe Burrow, but also you got one of the best trios, if not the best trio of wide receivers in the National Football League,
yeah.
and a top 5 running back to boot.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
What are you looking forward to in this matchup? I mean, I'm just looking forward to watching these 2 quarterbacks go at it. It's going to be so much fun.
I'm looking forward to Kansas City's running game being consistent. That's what I think is going to be the factor in this game. I think Mahomes is going in a little wobbled with the injury, and I wouldn't expect Andy Reid to dial things up to have Mahomes dropping back every play, throwing 50 passes. I think they're going to lean on Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon and run that ball down their throat. That's what I think they're going to do, because they know if they win this title game, they don't play in 2 weeks. And Pat Mahomes could be a little bit more healthy for the Super Bowl. So Andy Reid is putting out all the stops and going to get that running game going, and he's going to try to win it that way, because I don't see Pat Mahomes dropping back every play. I don't. He's hurt.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good analysis there. I think the more they have to rely on Mahomes in this game, it could be tough, because we saw too, even though with Buffalo, what happened when they became one-dimensional last week. The Bengals were ready for it, and the Bills couldn't do anything.
And they couldn't do anything. And the last thing you want is Mahomes to be dropping back down out there, 50 times a game, running around trying to make something out of nothing, hurt that injury even more and can't finish the game.
Right.
So I'm just saying, Buffalo can come in and win that game whichever way they play, because Buffalo can run the ball, they can pass, they have great clock management, their defense is solid. But I'm just thinking Chiefs.
You're going with the Chiefs in this game? What do you think for a score?
Let's say 21-17 Chiefs.
21-17 Chiefs. Wow. Holding the Bengals to 17 points. You think the Chiefs defense is that good?
I think the Chiefs are going to come in and running the ball. I think that's going to make a difference. If they have these long
shorten the game.
Yeah, they shorten the game, and they have these long sustaining drives where, they're getting 5 yards, 6 yards, and it keeps creating first downs. They can kind of make the Bengals one-dimensional.
Yeah.
The only thing about that is the Chiefs defense, they can't guard anybody. So the Bengals could go down the field really fast and it not make a difference.
Yeah. I think that's the key factor in this game. And not only that, but as we mentioned, all the weapons that Cincinnati has, and that's not even to mention Hayden Hurst, who's quietly been having a really nice season for them as well. So if you bring him into the mix, then that's, you got four weapons there. And then you, like I said, Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine too. He's been a solid running back for them to spell Mixon at times. So I'm going with the Bengals. I'm riding with my guy, Joe Cool. I'm riding with him. I could definitely see the Chiefs winning this game, obviously. Yeah. They're a heck of a team. Andy Reid's a heck of a coach. Mahomes could very well be the greatest quarterback by the time it's all said and done for him. And
he's got to play 50 years.
Yeah, he's got to play 50 years, but you never know.
Because the way Tom Brady's going, you're going to have a hard time getting Getting close to any of those stats.
I still call him the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Like not only with, the ability to pass, but the different arm angles,
Yes.
the mobility, his pocket awareness. I don't know if there's a better guy I've ever seen with pocket awareness than Patrick Mahomes. He is so good in the pocket. He can sense the pressure from any side at any moment. And I think that's just what makes him so special.
Yes.
And of course, we mentioned it with his dad being a former pitcher. That definitely helps with his arm there. Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm looking forward to this. But I'm going to take the Bengals, and I'm going to say, you know what? Let's double dip. Let's go 27-24 again. Let's go 27-24 Bengals over the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. And then I've got the Bengals-Eagles as my game for the Super Bowl. You got Eagles-Chiefs, which I could definitely see that as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to choose a Super Bowl that you wanted to see, would that be the one you wanted to see, Chiefs-Eagles?
I didn't get my Super Bowl.
Well, Vikings, obviously, but
I was going in the season saying Vikings Bills. That's what I wanted to see. But we saw Vikings Bills anyway, and it probably was the greatest regular season game we had all season. So I'm kind of happy with that. But I want to see Pat Mahomes win another one. I do.
Yeah, that would be fun to see. I would love to see the Bengals get the chip off their shoulder as well and finally win their first Super Bowl, because they haven't won one yet either. So
no, then it's hope for us.
Yeah, that's right. Like, part of me is like, well, maybe I don't want them to win, because then there's another step closer for us being the only team left without a Super Bowl.
Without a Super Bowl. Yeah.
But that's more Vikings talk. And if you want more Vikings talk, go ahead and subscribe to the Skull Purple podcast right here on YouTube. But anyways, appreciate your thoughts on that, and make sure to comment in the comment section below your thoughts on this game and the NFC Championship game, and give us your score predictions as well. So would love to hear those as well. But I think that's going to do it for our talk about these games, David. Of course, looking forward to that. We'll hopefully get Tony back next week to review these games. And then he can tell us he was right about both games, because he didn't give us his predictions. So, but hopefully Grayson is going to feel better. I know his son Grayson has been dealing with some not so fun stuff, flu and diarrhea and all that. Yeah. Gross. But hopefully he is feeling better. Let's go ahead and move on now, David. I'm scratching my head on this one. I really am. Coaching carousel continues. Carolina hires Frank Reich as their head coach after he was just fired from the Colts. And Steve Wilks, we talked about it on a Vikings video as well. And Steve Wilks got stiffed again, and it's a shame, because I think he's a really good coach, and I think he deserves another chance. And I don't know if Frank Reich deserved another chance this quickly.
Me neither. I don't understand what they're doing in Carolina. No. Their team's still playing in the still playing in the playoffs. Super Bowl isn't done yet. Wouldn't you want to wait till the off season is really here and you can interview anybody you want? Wouldn't you want to do that? Like, why would you do this now?
Right.
Like, and I haven't even heard they had a lot of interviews. Like, why would you do this now?
Right.
Was this always their first choice and they went with this guy? Like, I really don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I don't either. We talked about the nostalgia that he took the first snap for the team in franchise history, but like you mentioned this to me, nostalgia doesn't win you games.
It does not. It does not win you games.
So
the guy got fired and ran out of town a couple of months ago. Right.
And to me, it's telling that I don't know this for sure. I'd have to double check, but I don't think he got any other interviews, did he? Like
No,
for head coach?
no,
Like,
he didn't.
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
I think Carolina is unfortunately
Becoming a dumpster fire.
gonna be, yeah. I mean, it's been a dumpster fire. Steve Wilkes almost reconciled that dumpster fire.
Yes.
One stupid game again, or one stupid play against the Buccaneers away from being in the postseason. Which,
Exactly.
by the way, I think the Panthers would have given the Cowboys a better run than what the Bucs did.
Me too.
But again, Steve Wilkes getting the short end of the stick, and I think he would make a great defensive coordinator if nobody gives him a head coaching job. So
Yeah. I just don't understand it. It really makes no sense. The season isn't over yet where you can start hiring, different guys or interviewing guys first, and you don't have to pretty much ask or, wait any longer because everybody's going to be available. And you make this now, like, you're not even a destination where coaches actually want to go. You're not Denver,
right,
like
right,
you
exactly.
don't even have a quarterback in play. The guy who pretty much had this team in playoff contention was Wilkes.
Right.
Like, I
It,
really don't understand that. It's similar to me of sometimes, teams just scapegoat guys. Like, I didn't understand why Tampa Bay decided to fire Brian Leftwich. Like, you
right.
guys don't see Tom Brady? Like, Tom Brady is great, but he's declining.
And your offensive line that was in
Yeah,
shambles for half the season.
exactly. So you fire Leftwich. Like,
Yeah.
that
Well,
makes
and
no sense.
yeah, and totally different situation, but like with even with Mike LaFleur in New York, like
Yeah.
what sense did it make to fire the guy that was calling your offense when the only problem with your offense was the fact that you didn't have a quarterback? Like,
Exactly.
I mean, maybe,
what do you expect the guy to do?
maybe they could have used one more weapon for the quarterback or maybe one more offensive lineman. But let's be honest, like that team, if it had a quarterback, if it had Aaron Rodgers, for example, which
Right.
that's a hot name on the old stove, but I think that team's a playoff team at minimum. And
Me
who
too.
knows how far that team could have gone had there been a good quarterback there.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, more head
And
scratching moves.
with the Jets too, they lost their star rookie running back this year
Right, Brees
also.
Hall, yeah.
So what do you expect the offensive coordinator to do? Like,
Right.
just go in the backyard, East Rutherford, and say, just wave his fingers and it's a good offense? Like, that's not going to happen.
Right, right. And if you can't throw the ball, your running game doesn't mean anything to these defenses.
Nothing.
No. So, speaking of coaching carousel, another surprise maybe that Dan Quinn is staying in the Big D. He's staying in Dallas. Rumor has it that he wants to win a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. Well, he might be waiting a while for that. But anyways, David, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Dan Quinn staying with Dallas. Maybe he will eventually get back into his head coaching days, but as of right now, he says, nope, I'm content to stay with Dallas.
What I'm seeing here is similar to the Miko Ryans of the 49ers of staying put, last year in developing that team. You're going to start seeing more and more coordinators stay put and develop more guys and create a resume, because with the coaching carousel that goes around the NFL, you might get a job this year and you might be fired in the next 2 years, and then you're looking for a job. I think coaches understand now there's nothing wrong with being the best D coordinator or the best offensive coordinator in the game. You may not be head coach material. And what Dan Quinn is doing is actually really smart, because the teams that's available, where is he going to go with his scheme and actually succeed? Maybe Denver, and it's a big maybe there. And I'm really liking what these coaches are doing now by realizing who they are and what they have and what options are, ahead of them, not to just jump on these head coaching jobs and filter out, because when you get a head coaching job, everything's on you. And if the team, Dan Quinn knows if the team doesn't win, you're the first guy out of there. So I
Right.
think these coaches now are really being a little bit smarter and saying, like, I have a good gig here. I'm comfortable here. We're winning. My defense is top 10. I'm getting multiple players going to the Pro Bowl on defense. Why would I trade that to go to another team, have to develop a quarterback, hire an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, deal with a whole staff, and then if the team doesn't succeed, I'm going to be right back to be becoming a defensive coordinator. I might as well stay in the spot right now where I'm at, where I got it good, and it makes sense.
Yep. Well, and let's be honest, who really wants to leave Micah Parsons? I mean, goodness.
Right?
That guy can do anything you want him to. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to find that in Denver very easily.
No, it's not.
So I would not blame him. I don't blame him one bit for staying with that defense. No,
yeah.
it's and if they keep adding to that defense, it's going to continue to get even more scary. And that's a scary thought.
Or
that defense could get better.
Or Jerry Jones could have told him on the side, say, hey, you know what, Dan Quinn, why don't you stay here another year? Because if Mike McCarthy messes up again and, does X, Y, and Z, you're going to be the interim coach. And that offensive coordinator, that young hotshot offensive coordinator that we've been keeping in the house for the past couple of years, he stays too. And they can be a tandem. You never know with Jerry Jones. He thinks down the line. If the Cowboys struggle in the first 6 games, and McCarthy's fired, then Quinn's going to step right up with the Dallas job.
Yep, and I think that's a wise observation on your part. I think if Dan Quinn, I think Dan Quinn might know a little something there too. Yeah, I think you're right. I think if the Cowboys start 500 or below next year, I think things could definitely escalate in that direction. So
yeah.
Last topic, we talked about this with the Viking side of things, but let's talk about it from the NFL as a whole perspective, David. Jalen Ramsey and Trey Lance are supposedly on the trade block coming up this offseason. Trey Lance sounds like he would fetch a third-round pick, according to Michael Silver of the San Francisco Chronicle. And Jalen Ramsey, there was a credible report from NFL Rumors on... Yeah, I know Rumors sounds very credible, but NFL Rumors is a pretty reliable account on Twitter, and they say the Vikings are among 4 teams interested, including the Lions, the Steelers, and who was the other team? The Lions, Steelers. I can't remember the other team. Anyways, 4 teams that were interested in Jalen Ramsey. Where do you feel like these guys could really fit in to an organization? Now here is something that I've thought about, David. I don't know if I love it because I think they're a quarterback away, but what if the Jets, based on Robert Saleh knowing Trey Lance, maybe, I think he does, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't.
No, he wasn't. He
wasn't
gone.
there. Never mind. But still, maybe Trey Lance would go to the Jets because maybe they're looking to get a young quarterback in there, but maybe they're really desperate to say, all right, we want a quarterback. We want to go win this thing. We want to go have a shot at a Super Bowl. So we're going to shoot bigger than Trey Lance. But do you think the Jets or anybody else in the AFC or NFC makes sense for Trey Lance?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard because I don't see Trey Lance going anywhere being the projected day 1 starter, because he's not a finished project. And me personally, I wouldn't want Trey Lance to go to the Jets because they don't have an offensive structure to develop him the right way. And I think he has all the skills and he has a talent, to get it done, but he's just not developed yet. I mean, we just talked about it here today that, the Jets fired their offensive coordinator. So who is Robert Saleh going to develop? Is he going to personally sit, Lance down and develop him? They don't have anything in place to actually make him a better player. So I don't
Nathaniel
see
Hackett, does that sound intriguing?
him. No.
he's the new Jets offensive coordinator they announced. So yeah, it's
Rodgers is definitely going there.
right? Like that's the whole thing that people are saying.
Yeah.
Well, Rodgers to the Jets, pretty
Yeah,
set in
Rodgers.
stone if he
I
gets
can
traded.
I can definitely see that now. But I just feel bad for these quarterbacks when they get drafted so high and teams trade so many picks, to have to be available to draft these guys, and they don't pan out. But a lot of times they don't pan out because they don't get put in the right system to where they can succeed. Like if you're a quarterback and you're coming out of college, do you really want to go to a defensive minded team? I'm not saying he's going to overshadow you and he's not going to, try to make you better with your mechanics or, reading defenses. But I just don't see it. I mean, we know personally, look at Mike Zimmer and all his quarterbacks. There
Right.
hasn't been I would rather him go to a team where he can develop. I'm not sure what that team is, but it has to be an offensive minded team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be an interesting destination for him. Trying to think of some other, maybe Seattle, other than the fact that they won't trade him in division.
Carolina.
But Carolina, yeah, that could be another one. Frank Reich, maybe he's interested in him coming over.
He's a bozo.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe
Washington.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if Tom Brady doesn't come back there, which it doesn't sound to me like he's going to do.
The
But
Commanders.
the Commanders, that's another one. There's definitely a few teams out there that probably have a market for Trey Lance. Obviously, the Vikings for selfish reasons. We want to see a quarterback under Cousins for the future, but
I got a place where he can go. We might not like it. Detroit.
Detroit.
I
thought about that.
You can sit him behind golf for a year and look at the weapons they got going forward.
Yeah. They got a lot. They've got a lot.
That might be a good spot for him. Because I wouldn't want him to go to Houston or places like that.
Right.
No, I wouldn't want him to do that. So,
and I don't think Houston wants him anyway because they're going to draft a quarterback with their second pick. Yep. So, yeah, I don't know if they're sold on Jared Goff for the next future, but I mean, Ben Johnson, I'd love to see what Ben Johnson could do with a Trey Lance as well.
Yeah, see?
But yeah.
See, going
which
to a place where they can
concerns me greatly as a Vikings fan that Ben Johnson is still with the Lions. I thought he was going to be gone. I was hoping for it because I'm like, I don't know. This offense looks pretty dangerous with Ben Johnson coming back, and we saw what he did at the end of the year against the Packers, who were desperate to win and they embarrassed them. So, which is good news. Anyways, that is going to do it for this edition of the Flea Flicker Fancast. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure to give us your comments, feedback, like, subscribe to the channel. As always, this thing just getting underway. Looking forward to have many weeks ahead of talking NFL, speculation, rumors, and of course, this interesting offseason, which I am all about. I love the NFL offseason, one of the great off seasons in sports, and I don't think it's close. But David, appreciate you joining. And again, thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right.